What's up guys, it's Michael here. In this video, I ordered a brand new Tesla Model 3 Performance and here's my thoughts. So I made a video like this similar before because part of my business, I ordered a Tesla Model 3 long range. But since now that is no longer in stock and based on this channel, it's only on finance and anything that can help improve your life situation and make you more money, that's what it is about. So when it came to taxes, I had the opportunity to get another vehicle. And I also explained in a previous video why a lot of people drive new cars, meaning they keep switching cars every couple years, mainly every 3 years, because that's most lease agreements. In my case, it's a little bit special, but what we're looking at today is whether or not you should install PPF into your vehicle, meaning paint protection film. So strictly speaking, what does paint protection film do is protect your car against rock chips, any things, any door dents, even scratches. But here is the question you get asked. What do you value more? Because paint protection film itself is very expensive. Same with vinyl. People say it's a couple $100 is really cheap. But since this is a finance channel, I will be talking and mentioning about the cost of benefit. Meaning, if you're going to install this film in your car, what value does it bring to you besides keeping your car safe? And since it is finance, does it bring you in money? The short and dirty answer is no. And this only applies to very specific situations. For example, you would like to install PPF on cars that appreciate in value. For example, limited time Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Porsches or McLarens that are limited edition that you know will go up in value. For example, if you buy a vehicle like the Aston Martin Valkyrie, you make 150 in the world, then of course you want to install $10,000 for a $3 million car PPF because you want to keep that paint in pristine condition if you're looking at it as an investment. Because if you have dings or damages in a car, it will lower its value. But in my case, like a Tesla Model 3, then what value there is in there? Like back then when Tesla couldn't make enough vehicles, people were able to pay and willing to pay more money to it, which is justified. It's basic supply and demand of market. But if you install PPF, would it gain value over through the years? And you look at it, PPF itself is not cheap. You're looking between $600 all the way up to $10,000, depending what type of PPF job you're looking for. For example, if you do a full body car on, let's say, a Model 3, or if you do an SUV, it's going to cost you around between $7 all the way up to $15,000 depending on your installer. And also, when install PPF, the type of job quality also calls for it, meaning is if it's a reputable shop, they will most likely charge you more. And at the same time is, do you value that extra money you spend in, knowing most likely what you get back is not going to increase investment, it's a loss investment. So here that I break down is whether or not you should do it or not. It really depends on you. For example, why do people buy clothing like Louis Vuitton? Why did it buy Gucci? Why did it buy Hermes? So if you're buying it just because you want to look fancy and look cool, that is great for you. This can also apply for cars too. But if you're looking at it as an investment, then that's a different story. Because first of all, if you're buying it for yourself, not for your business, and you're putting PPF in your vehicle that you don't own a business for, then you cannot write it off for taxes. You cannot justify it. But let's say that if you install PPF on your vehicle, and let's say your car detailing service, and you want to write off for taxes, you can explain to IRS, put down a report. If they come back and try to audit you and explain what is this massive transaction, you can tell you, hey, I installed PPF for my vehicle so I can showcase to my customers on this business that when I have this film on, it protects you from rock chips, it protects from any door dings, protects people from keying my car, and can make the film heal, then hey, that you can be written off. But if you're a customer going in like myself, which I'm not a detailing car person, then that's a different story. I can't just tell like, hey, I bought this car to go for my business. My business is, let's say, food delivery. Then when they say like why you need to write off taxes for this, it's not part of your business. Then that's the downer side too. So what you have to ask yourself is whether or not this situation is applicable for you. So the main point is, A, when you get a daily driver, how long do you plan to keep it? Because PPF usually lasts between 5 to 10 years, depending on the method of application, how you take care of it. And let's assume that most people are like me, don't really care too much about cars. They just want to get to point A, point B. And especially for me, it's a finance channel, is I'm trying to extract the most value out this vehicle as possible. Meaning is, I want it to work for me. So meaning is going towards B, saving the most money. So, of course, the more expensive the car, then more expensive to maintain. But the only exception is electric vehicles. But if you're going to start PPF it, you start adding more money into a vehicle that transfer you from point A to point B. And what you really save in costs is fuel and maintenance. But does it really make you money? That really depends on your circumstances. For me, the answer is it'll save me money. That's how I make it. But when it comes to actually generating revenue, that the only thing it'll do is transporting me from point A to point B, which other vehicles can also do, just at a cheaper rate. So the answer is no. Number 3. So whether or not you should upgrade your vehicle by protecting it, how long you're gonna keep it for. So in my case, I was expecting to keep my previous Model 3 long range for approximately, I was expecting for my situation, which will be different for other people, I was expecting 5 years. In my case, it became less than 3 years. So in my case, I hesitated for a moment. It's like, maybe I should do this PPF full car. I called up some few shops, looked up a bunch of dealers who provide PPF and the colored ones, and it quoted me between $7,000 to $10,000 for a whole entire car. If you want to do the front part portion of your car, I got ones as cheap as $1,000 up to 4.5 grand. But at the same time is whether or not is it viable, because if this vehicle is going to take off somewhere else, meaning it's going to be sold or it's going to be donated, then that's a different story. As for how the vehicle drives and performs, it does everything I need it to do. It saves me a lot of time, saves me a lot of money, because it saves me money on fuel, saves me time because I can just plug it in. And if you live in places like California or any other major city with a lot of people, sometimes filling up gas is a chore. Meaning is if you want to get cheaper gas, you got to wait to some place like Costco and there'll be a line. If you don't want to wait for a line, you pay for gas that's way more expensive. That's usually 10 to 30 cents more per gallon. It's a trade compared to just go home and plug it in. But this mainly concerns PPF. So in my case, for majority of people, I believe PPF should not be installed if you're financially on a tight budget. And PPF should only be a viable solution if it's able to maintain its value of its vehicle. Meaning is if you have limited edition cars, for example, Paganis, Koenigseggs, Bugattis, or any limited edition really high-end vehicles, include Porsches and Corvettes, or even one-ups, that's the time you should PPF, because PPF protects your vehicle for any chips or any damage for majority of it, even windshield protection. So if that is the case, then go ahead, right ahead, PPF it. Because that vehicle is going to become an investment in the future. When you sell it, when a vehicle owner sees rocks and chips, you say, hey, it's PPF. When they remove it, you can tell them, brand new surface. Then you explain to them what you did with the car, then you know you take care of it. But if it's a daily driver, and if you're planning to not keep that vehicle for more than 10 years, then I don't see what's the reason why you should PPF it. But overall, in my situation, majority of people will probably end up like me. Most people will not PPF their car, and because it's not cheap, very expensive, very costly to install, and the main point is, what value do you get from it besides keeping your car in a pristine condition? But over time, like 95% of cars lose their value, sadly, because this is how it is, supply and demand. That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. And when the new Tesla comes in, I'll do a review on that one too. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.